Everyone, I'm here to do lesson 38, telling time. On Monday, we've asked you guys to make your clock, so you should have already have your clock already completed. If you don't, go ahead and quickly get your clock done. Go ahead and pause the video because you're going to need your clock for this lesson. If you do have your clock ready, then you're ready to rock and roll with our lesson today. Now, I want to go over a couple things. I have my teacher clock. My clock is very different from your clock. My clock has some hours on here, but it also notes the minutes. So I'm going to focus on the hours today because our job today is going to be to figure out how does this hour hand and this minute hand move when we're telling the time. All right, so on here, they're going to show us in our workbook. We're working on page 248 and 249 today. So on 248, it's going to only talk about the o'clock. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what does o'clock mean and what does it look like on our clock. Well, when I have my hour hand is my shorthand. And this is the hand that's moving around our clock. And when we call those numbers out, we're looking at these black numbers on my clock. So you're going to notice that I'm going to use this hour hand, which is my shorthand, to call the hours out to you. We're not going to worry about the minute. However, I do want you to notice that my minute hand is going to stay on this number. And this number is 12. However, we don't call it 12 when we're doing o'clock. We say o'clock. So today you're going to watch again me move my hour hand, but this minute hand is not going to move. It's going to stay on the 12. Okay, so our first problem, it wants us to show 4 o'clock. And so what I need you to do is go ahead and look at your clock and make sure you know which one's your hour and which one's your minute. Your hour is going to be your short one and your minute's going to be your long one. We're going to focus moving the hour only. All right, so it wants us to show 4 o'clock. Now, if you notice on your workbook, the minute hand, which is your long one, is pointing on 12. So we are not going to touch that one. Keep that one there. We're going to worry about your hour hand. They want us to show 4 o'clock. So I hope you're thinking about how can you show 4 o'clock on your clock. Now remember, we're going to move our hour hand and think about the number. So where will we put 4 o'clock? Think about where that hour hand's going to go. If you put your hour hand on the 4 and kept your minute on the 12, which is o'clock, you did a fantastic job. Go ahead and draw that on your paper. Now remember, you don't have to draw the minute hand. You only are drawing the hour. So I also want you to be mindful that your minute hand and your hour hand shouldn't be the same length. So make your hour short and make it point to the 4. Okay, so now we're going to move to 7 o'clock. Now think about how you did 4 o'clock. Now we're going to move to 7 o'clock. How would the 7 o'clock look on your clock? Think about that. And as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and draw my 4 o'clock because I forgot to put my 4 o'clock here. So how would you move your hour hand to make it 7 o'clock? Okay, so remember we're finding that number. Remember your 7, it should be what's on your clock. And if you moved your hour hand to the 7 and kept your minute to the 12, then you did a fantastic job. Go ahead and write that time on your paper. Remember, you're only doing the hour hand. You're not doing the minute hand. Okay, the next one is 10 o'clock. Remember, everything is going to be to the hour. You're going to take that one. Now we're going to figure out how we show 10 o'clock. So now move your hour hand and see where you can place it to show the 10 o'clock. If you place it on the 10 for 10 o'clock, you did another fantastic job. Go ahead and draw that on your paper like I'm doing as well. Remember, your hour hand should be short and it should be pointing at that number. So 10 and then that 12 means o'clock. My last one is 2 o'clock. So think about where would the 2 be for your hour hand. Remember, don't move this one. We're only moving the hour hand. If you place your hour hand at the 2 and you kept your minute hand at the 12 for o'clock, you did another fantastic job. Go ahead and draw that on your paper. Now we have completed page 248. Now we're going to move to page 249. Let me erase all my stuff that I did. And this is going to look a little bit different. This clock looks like the clock that you guys actually have that only shows the hour hand. But I want to point something out to you. I want to point out the minute hand. this minute hand does move, but the minute hand does not move the same as the hour. This minute hand is still on the 12, which is the o'clock. So what we're going to do today is we are going to show the time of 7 o'clock. But you're not giving anything. You're not giving the minute or the hour hand. So what you're going to have to do is figure out, how can I show 7 o'clock? Now remember what I said to you. I said our o'clock means that it's always pointing at what number? The 12. So your o'clock, which is your minute hand, should be pointing at the 12. You have to figure out where your hour hand is going to be. So think about, where would your hour hand be? If I'm showing 7 o'clock, would it be on the 10, the 2, the 7, or the 8? Okay, when you thought about that, go ahead and draw that down on your paper. I'm going to draw it down as well. So I'm going to give you a chance to draw it down, and I'm going to draw it to see if you kind of got that answer.